Mr. Parker. Catherine Myers.
Hi, good morning. My name is Catherine Myers and I live in Clayton. I'm speaking today as a volunteer at the Animal Services Department in Martinez. I'm speaking about the director search and wanted to give you some insight as to some of the things that I see that our Animal Services Department could use. I've been shocked to learn since I've been volunteering there that people in our community still don't know you can adopt great pets there. They think it's the pound, where only the bad pets go, where only the police action pets go. They just don't know. We need a new director who values the community as partners in reducing our intake and increasing adoptions and rescue partnerships. We need a PR, marketing, networking, and social media department. Just as an example, other shelters proudly sponsor billboards and other public campaigns, letting people know that love is adoptable right down the street. They educate their community about spay and neuter. They sponsor spay and neuter events through partnerships and grants. What about a public campaign to educate of the perils that await their pets when they surrender them at the holidays and during summer vacations or at any other time? Promotions, themed adoption days, better pet photography, photography that captures their personality and not just a headshot. We need to bring the community into our gorgeous state-of-the-art facility. We should be proud we spent millions on it. I believe we could use ARF, Marin Humane Society, or even the Lindsay Museum as a model for the interaction a shelter could and should have with our community. Classes, camps, workshops, dog and cat educational and training program, to name just a few. Robust programs create a more aware, a more educated, and a more compassionate public. Just compare our website to that of Marin Humane Society. That'll show you a lot of things that we could be doing more of. We need a proactive, compassionate, hands-on director, one that will forge a goal of reaching into and involving our community. This is our turning point here. Our new director needs to embrace a commitment of no more euthanasia, of healthy and adoptable pets. It can be done. There are models that we can follow. And we need to let Contra Costa be a leader in the sheltering of our animals. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Myers. Mr. Lewis, to be followed by Corrine Tate, to be followed by Marty Tati.
Good morning. My name is Lou Lewis, and I live in Antioch. And everything she said so well, are things that I've been involved in deeply in the last 6 months. And I am very passionate about who is chosen as the next director over there, because I have been in and seen the horrific conditions that are going on right now. And I have also been to Petaluma and have seen the most wonderful conditions that can be done with such a little amount of money. And our shelter here has a great deal of money. They have enough money that I am surprised that the animals don't have their own swimming pools and their own spas. They should be treated much better than they are. I would like to see the director come in to the 21st century, someone who can come in and see all of the wonderful opportunities, the ways to be able to educate our community. A lot of people say that it's the community's fault that things are happening to these animals. No, it's not. Not if they're educated properly. And if we get a director that can come in there and that they can take and shake that place and clean it up so that these animals are taken care of, our money, my money that I use, that $11 million, can be spent to enhance the animals that we have and to allow them all of the things that she had said, such a wonderful idea. And if any of you feel that you're not sure that this could be done, I think the definition of crazy that we all know is continuing to do the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And I think that if we get a director that is been doing things the same way all the time, all we are going to have is the same thing. And I would be glad to take any one of you supervisors to Petaluma and allow you to talk with Valerie and see the amazing things that have been done there and see the potential that Martinez has if we just look forward and get a director who can look forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lewis. Ms. Corrine Tate.
Supervisors, good morning.
I think you might want to push the button on the right to up.
Up. Yeah, I'm about 12 foot tall. We'll be here for a while. My 2 minutes will be pushing the board up. Good morning. We're at a crossroads. The annual killing of more than 4,000 companion animals in Contra Costa Animal Services and the status quo are no longer going to go unheeded. Killing healthy, treatable, adoptable dogs and cats is unacceptable in the face of proven life-saving alternatives. We have a right to expect from our shelter director someone who has a passion for saving lives, a director that demands excellence, that is hardworking, solution-oriented, and that leads by example. With the impending retirement of the current director at Contra Costa Animal Services, we urge you to hire in his place a qualified director that is versed in no-kill methods and programs. Running a shelter does not have to necessitate the systematic killing of dogs and cats, followed by excuse-making, public blaming, and false justifications for the senseless killing. Our public shelter should reflect our values as a community. Killing companion animals for no reason other than to make room, or because they are out of time, or because of no interest is unacceptable. Moreover, lacking measurable goals to work towards, coupled with zero accountability, and the fact that the public has been wholly unaware of the horror that goes on behind closed doors, has allowed our failed sheltering system to continue without query. Contra Costa Animal Services has been stuck at a 65% save rate for years. Despite the fact that countless communities across the nation, in all areas of size, population, and number of animal intakes, have been embracing no-kill methods and raising save rates to more than 90%. It is imperative to hire an effective and compassionate leader who will take killing off the table, rally the troops for ideas and options, and demand performance excellence and accountability, and command a minimum 90% or better save rate within 3 years.
Thank you, Ms. Tate. Marty Taddy, to be followed by Ellen Lee and Carol Ann Quigley.
Good morning. I have handouts for 5.
She'll come get them. Go ahead.
Okay, great. And they're labeled we have 6 copies for everyone.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Marty Taddy, and I live in Contra Costa County. I currently volunteer at Animal Services and have been for the last 7 years. I am here again today to express my interests and concerns as to what experience and qualifications will be required of the new director at Animal Services. It is critical the county recruit a director who not only administrates, but is compassionate about the animals, who builds relationships with employees, volunteers, rescue groups, the community, and brings much-needed reform and change to Contra Costa Animal Services. I'd like to share with you some issues within the departments that need improvement or change. Animal intake is at an epidemic level. Consequently, animals are being euthanized due to limited space. Employees are frustrated, the morale is low, and there is little cohesiveness between the departments. The inability to retain volunteers to provide the enrichment programs these animals need. Without enrichment programs, animals become kennel stressed, with the end result sometimes being euthanasia. Kennel cough continues to spread, and dogs are quarantined for weeks at a time with no enrichment or exercise. I question how humane this practice is. There is a backyard breeding culture in this county who continuously breed puppies as a source of income. These puppies are not licensed, microchipped, or medically sound. This culture and practice creates the majority of strays and unwanted dogs in this community. These breeders sell pups out of vans.
If you could finish your sentence, please.
Cars parked on public roads, which violate the Penal Code 597.4. Just to sum it up, we need change at Contra Costa Animal Services, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Ms. Taddy. Alan Lee.
Good morning to the board. My name is Alan Lee. I'm a 20-year resident of Contra Costa County. My family includes a pit bull dog adopted 3 years ago from the Martinez shelter. I volunteered with Contra Costa Animal Services for 3 years and spent much of my time and energy working with rescue groups that help our animals. I spoke to you in October about the importance of the selection of the new director, and I respectfully am here today again to emphasize the need to choose a director who is innovative and determined to improve. The mission statement at Contra Costa Animal Services assures the public that Animal Services will provide quality care for every animal, regardless of its temperament or condition. They will place animals in safe and caring homes and will provide information and resources to the public that enhances the quality of life of all animals in our community. They also promise to provide high-quality customer service, treating all individuals with respect, professional courtesy, and integrity. Those words hold a promise that can only be fulfilled by a commitment to building relationships. All successful shelters depend on supportive relationships in order to save lives. In our shelter, it is especially important for the director to connect with volunteers and representatives of rescue groups because they are the individuals that bear the burden of finding homes for our county animals. We currently suffer from a serious deficiency of effective programs as well as a general sense of a lack of support from the director. In that vacuum, the volunteers and individuals who are not even officially affiliated with the shelter have stepped up to market, network, and rescue our animals. The new director must be committed to developing strong relationships with these very people who have the determination, know-how, and heart to help. The director must also reach out to the community through marketing, public relations, and education. And thank you again for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Lee. Carol Ann Quigley, to be followed by Beth Bennett, to be followed by Debbie Rodriguez.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Carol Ann Quigley, and I live in Martinez. I have been volunteering 2 days a week at Contra Costa Animal Services for the past year and a half, and it has been one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. I have been incredibly impressed with the dedication of the volunteers and employees who routinely go above and beyond the scope of their duties. It is imperative that the county hire a director of animal services who will demonstrate the same high level of energy, dedication, and compassion towards animals. One of the director's top priorities must be reducing the unacceptably high rate of euthanasias performed. I have prepared a chart for you, which is in that package that looks like this, showing you the stark reality of what happens at our shelter. You will see that in 2013, which was our best year since 2007, we took in almost 12,000 dogs and cats. That's an average of 33 unwanted animals per day. But many of those pets did not make it out of the shelter alive. The shelter was forced to euthanize 33% of them because they were not adopted, rescued, or returned to their owners. That's an average almost 11 dogs and cats killed each and every day of the year. Most of the euthanized animals are neither aggressive nor unhealthy. The shelter has simply run out of space to house them. I believe the citizens of our county would be shocked to hear this reality, and they would wonder, how can this be happening in such a relatively middle-class, educated, and animal-loving community? The new director must be held accountable to significantly improving these statistics. We can do much better. The new director must commit to proactively offering free or low-cost spay and neuter services. He or she must also commit to increasing adoptions by whatever creative means necessary. If he or she will do only those two things, our euthanasia rate will fail. And I would like to invite the board to come by the shelters in Martinez or Pinole and meet the wonderful pets and people there and see for yourself why our animals deserve the best possible new director.
Thank you, Ms. Quigley. Beth Bennett, to be followed by Debbie Rodriguez, to be followed by Douglas Dunn. And that is the last of my public speaking cards, so if there's anyone else who wishes to speak under public comment, please fill out a card. Hello, Ms. Bennett.
Good morning. My name is Beth Bennett. I come to you as a citizen of Contra Costa County who includes a companion animal in their household. You all are aware that the shelter director has announced his retirement and are currently looking to fill his position. I have two requests of you. First, to urge the hiring of a new director whose creative, passionate leadership is critically important to no-kill success. Hiring in his place an effective and compassionate director that sets us on the right track to no-kill success. An effective leader gets results without excuses and is never satisfied with outcomes that are less than exemplary. One that leads by example. Second, I am asking for transparency at its highest level. To set save rate goals over the next 3 years to include 90+% save rate. Whereas at this time there are no measurable objectives to work toward and zero accountability. I ask that you consider a formal expression to Contra Costa Animal Services that the status quo and the systematic killing of our companion animals is unacceptable. Thousands of shelter animals are dying instead of being given the chance to bring joy to future families. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bennett. Debbie Rodriguez.
Good morning. My name's Debbie Rodriguez, and I've been volunteering at Contra Costa Animal Services for 3 years. Prior to that, I was 7 years with Tony LaRusse as ARF. I would like to talk to you about the importance of marketing and transporting our animals to help save more lives. Currently, our shelter has no marketing department. When selecting our new director, it is important that they understand marketing and transporting animals to less crowded shelters. When I started volunteering, I heard about a conference in Las Vegas called No More Homeless Pets. I invited shelter staff to attend with me. They declined. I went alone. Groups of shelters from all over the U.S. and Canada attended this 4-day conference. What I learned from the conference was how we could transport rates, reduce our euthanize rates of our dog by transporting them to other states that were in need of small dogs. When I returned, I gave videotapes of everything I learned at the conference to management. After 6 months, no change was made. One day I was volunteering, and I was told by another volunteer 4 beautiful little dogs were going to be euthanized. I was desperate. I picked up the phone. I called Southern Oregon Humane Society, recalling what I learned in the conference. I spoke to the director. I said, we have 4 little dogs that are going to die. Can you save them? He said, bring them here, don't let them die. That was our first transport. To date, our shelter has now transported over 300 dogs to Oregon and Nevada. Just imagine how many more precious lives we can save if we hire a director with the same passion to do what it takes to save a life. I've also started a YouTube channel showing our dogs videos of them being happy out of their kennels. If you ever walk through our shelter, please look into the eyes of the animals. They're counting on us humans to use our brains and creativity to get them out alive. It is extremely important our new director can lead us to find creative ways to save each life. Thank you.
Supervisor Pifo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I believe your next speakers are going to be on different topics, so I just wanted to interrupt Doug. My apologies, and to our other speaker. I just wanted to lend my vocal support. I know it's public comment, and we're typically not supposed to comment on these items, but lend my support to the comments, and also recognize the leadership of Director Howell. It is an opportunity for change and change the culture and jump into the 21st century that we have before us, but I work very closely with Director Howell to create the Pet of the Month and the community awareness, and to get broadcast out on CCTV of our animals within the shelter, so that communities can have greater awareness. But I've always felt that we weren't doing enough, and I certainly believe and agree that we can do more and we should be doing more. But most importantly, I wanted to thank the volunteers that are here today, because you are speaking beyond just your own efforts, and you give your time, your energy, your love, your passion to what you're doing, and I appreciate it. It's also a little emotional. My apologies. We just lost our little pet last week. A week ago yesterday, she died in our arms, our little 3-pound Chihuahua. And I was on the animal shelter site last week shopping for a new pet to fill the hole that our little Lily left in our hearts and our home. So thank you for what you're doing. I'm trying to do my part as a leader, but also as a community member. So thank you again for the time, energy, and effort you put into what you do. It is valued, it is appreciated, and it is helpful. Thank you.
And I want to echo Supervisor Pifo's comments. The volunteer efforts you give are greatly appreciated. We're very aware of the concerns that you have brought to our attention. Mr. Twa is very aware of them. And once the new director is hired, it is customary for each new department head to come and meet with each of the supervisors. And I feel confident that each of us will be sharing with that new director the concerns you've raised. We share those concerns, and we have to balance, obviously, the issues of budgets, but how we can be creative and be a leader in that regard. And I, too, want to echo the comments. Director Howell has been very helpful to me in my duties relative to concerns around animals in my district. I want to assure you that we are looking for a new director with the characteristics that you have all spoken about. So thank you. I do have one more speaker on this issue before we go to the other two. Did you wish to speak?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, and I appreciate, I know I met with a group of you not that long ago, and I appreciate, all of your passion and concern and wanting to be involved in this, at this time as we look for a new animal services director, and also how we continue to look at the best practices of other agencies, other animal service departments, to look at the best way to. It's really about outreach, as you say, and it's not just, frankly, adoption at our two animal service locations, but in stores. I have a dog and a cat, and I adopted my cat, I think, about 10 years ago from the PetSmart in Pinole, which was a great, those kinds of opportunities reach more people than folks who actually go to a shelter in Martinez or in Pinole. So thanks for being involved.
Supervisor Glover?
Thank you. I just wanted to say that I have met with members of the Martinez community and Director Howe, and this dialogue has already started taking place, so we want to appreciate him for his leadership.
And I'm just going to throw in, as long as we're all throwing in our 2 cents, I want to thank all of you for being here as well. I've met with some of you also, as well as my staff has met with others. And this is an opportunity. As I have great accolades for what Glenn Howell has done for animal control and what he has, the programs he has implemented and the responsiveness he has been whenever we've had an issue come up from my office. But as said, this is an opportunity. As you know, we will also be reaching out to not only the public, but also to the city managers. We do provide the animal services for every city with the exception of Antioch, and it's important that we're listening to our city managers, our city councils, to really understand as we move into this new phase, what other services or what can we do to better address not only our cute and furry animals, but that we adopt into our homes, but all of the animals we get to deal with in the community. And I've got to echo the thanks to each one of you who are volunteering, who are looking out for animals, who really need humans to look out after them, because in many cases in an urban environment like we live in, they don't do very well on their own. So thank you for your efforts, and please stay involved in talking with our CAO. He's been very open to the idea of taking this input that we have been receiving, and as we go through the search, posing some of these questions and these qualities that we're looking for in a new director. So thank you.
All right. Barbara Malatesta, I hope I've said that correctly.
Good morning. I was actually not planning on speaking, so I don't have anything written, and I will be somewhat brief, but I wanted to add a little different perspective to this situation, in that I have began volunteering at the shelter about 6 months ago. And I did that because about 6 years ago I became the grandmother of a pit bull. My son adopted one, and I came to realize a lot of the stigma behind this particular breed of dog. And so I wanted to get into the trenches, so I went out to the shelter to volunteer. I have supported the shelter financially in a small way by giving karanga beds, which are these really nice beds that get the dogs off the ground, and Kongs, and not to put numbers out there, but several $1,000s, and I would be willing to support them much more financially. But I need to feel confident that the director of the shelter is all the things that everyone has mentioned prior, is proactive and passionate and informed. I'm in the process of educating myself about animal sheltering and animal welfare. And I have seen through certain organizations a lot of the things that can be done. And so I want to support them more, but I'm not confident in doing that until I'm sure that whoever is in charge is going to be doing the, using all the tools possible.
Thank you very much
Thank
for your
you.
comments.